Biologically, can you describe what's going on in a girl's body when she gets her period?
No.
Do you want to try?
What?
Do you want to try?
I think it's something with like an egg bursting or something.
Bursting?
It's... No, I cannot.
Do you want to begin the journey?
Begin the journey.
Okay.
Take me on the journey.
Eggs will be produced in your ovaries and then go through the fallopian tube.
And then it attaches to the uterus, wall lining thing.
A type of shedding of the ovarian lining.
Do you know why that happens?
No.
Nothing about the egg moving or...
No.
Our body's being prepared for pregnancy? I don't know.
Growing up, puberty, and sex are not topics we like discussing with young people. However, it's so necessary to have these talks. Growing up is inevitable, puberty is terrifying and confusing, and sex happens without education. Kids need to know about growing up, teens need to know about sex and what to do with it.
With no birth control ahead of time, what is the bottom line chances a girl might get pregnant during sex?
I don't know, 25?
At least 25%.
What are the chances a girl might get pregnant during sex, given any time during her cycle?
190%. Don't have sex.
Okay, that's fair. It's actually 30. Can you tell me what the cervix is?
Somewhere down there. I don't know.
Is it kind of like a bowl-shaped thing?
I feel like I should know that.
Do you know what the cervix is?
No.
I wish I did, but I don't.
I had headphones in.
Is it in a girl or a boy's body?
Girl?
Yeah.
Is that the opening to the uterus? No.
Yeah, it's pretty close. Do you know what PMS stands for?
No.
Post-menstrual something?
Post-menstruation no.
Post-traumatic.
Premenstrual cycle.
Oh, premenstrual.
Think of the bad guy in The Incredibles.
Syndrome.
Premenstrual syndrome.
Premenstrual syndrome.
How long can you expect puberty to last for?
I'd say 2 years.
5 to 10 years. A year or two.
4 years.
Yeah, 4 to 5. So true or false? Acne tends to be equally as bad for boys and girls.
True.
It's actually false. One of the genders has it worse. Do you know which one?
Girls?
Boys. Which hormone do guys' bodies make during puberty? Testosterone, estrogen, or both?
Testosterone.
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 Both.
It is both. It's actually both.
No.
Can a girl pee with a tampon in?
I think so.
No?
Yes.
Yes, they can.
The truth is, public schools have inefficient programs. Only 24 states are required to have some sort of sex ed program. And of those 24, only 13 are required to be medically accurate. Can you just explain what your human growth and development or sex ed class was like?
I didn't have one in elementary school at all.
So what did you do when you were 10, 11, and 12?
We had anatomy books that vaguely went over what puberty was.
We had one lecture in 5th grade, and that was it. We just got a pamphlet that we had to give to our parents, and my parents gave it back to me.
I couldn't really say that I'd taken a sex ed class.
I didn't necessarily learn a lot.
Well, guys only learn about what happens with guys, and girls only learn about what happens with girls.
It's divided between guys and girls.
We separated the girls and the boys.
Were you homeschooled?
Yes. It was one-on-one with my father, and then there were some fun conversations with my mom.
No, I was homeschooled. I got the talk when I was 10. My mom gave it to me. My dad was super nervous the whole time. He put headphones in and went in the other room.
And then in high school, we had one sex ed class, but I couldn't take it because it didn't fit in my schedule. My guidance counselor was like, it's fine, you don't need to know that.
I was left to figure a lot out on my own.
I didn't necessarily know that sexually transmitted diseases was a thing.
For some reason, I know more about the sexual reproduction of flowers than I do about real sexual reproduction.
Parents also hold the right to opt out their kids from these programs. Without proper information and education, kids are growing into a maturity for which they're not prepared.
So what do you wish that you did learn in school?
Women's health was a mystery to me until probably a year ago.
They probably were teaching an abstinence only, which is best, but you should also talk about protection.
If someone has more questions, giving them a safe person to talk to. Without bias of like religious belief.
Even if you're pulling the whole Christian thing of like not having sex until after marriage, which is something like I believe you still like have to like learn about protection and like learn about STDs and stuff still.
Although I don't know a whole lot personally about female sexual development, I feel like women know a lot more about men, and I don't quite get why that's a thing.
Probably starting like middle school or something, like teach about both sides because it helps you empathize a lot more with the other gender. More education, especially for guys, on what women go through would be very beneficial.
The talk is advised to happen before puberty begins. Not in high school, not through what your friends say, not the internet. This is especially true for girls who mature earlier than boys. Not only do females mature at a more vulnerable age, our bodies are a lot more complicated. Our whole system down there isn't exactly on display. Whether you're a single dad raising a daughter, or you're a teacher, a brother, a boyfriend to a female, please be educated on women's health. It's important for both genders to not be confused by these natural growths and to be comfortable and ready to face them on their own.
Do you think consent should be taught in school?
Yes.
Yes, definitely.
Absolutely.
Yes. Absolutely. Yes.
Very much, yes.
Teaching respect and boundaries.
A person can't be intoxicated.
Otherwise, if you don't talk about consent, it's rape.
Consent is only when yes is heard.
If you're going to talk about sex, you have to bring up consent.
Consent must be taught in schools. It's not superfluous, it's not trivial, it's not a new trend. Consent is mandatory. Education is vital to growing up. We shouldn't be afraid or ashamed for talking about it. Make it easier on kids, and please talk up the talk. This documentary was made in the US. However, this education must be spread accurately to children of all countries, especially of those in developed and enabled nation states that can afford this curriculum right now, especially with sexuality, gender, and identity being important contemporary topics. Please see the World Health Organization's Action Framework for Developing Better Sexual Health Programs globally, as well as the American Association of Sexuality Educators, Counselors, and Therapists article about how sexuality education is and should be evolving around the world.